The problem with Muslim misrepresentation is one that can't be ignored anymore. And it's one that I can't fix alone, and the handful of prominent Muslims in the business can't fix without your help.
For far too long, slatted representations of Muslims on screen have not matched the richness and breadth of our lived experiences. Today's research gives us a powerful tool to continue to advocate for equality within the entertainment industry and to build benchmarks and accountability for inclusion.
The progress that's being made by a few of us doesn't paint an overall picture of progress if most of the portrayals of Muslims on screen are still either non-existent or entrenched in those stereotypical, toxic, two-dimensional portrayals. The real-world cost of this misrepresentation is measured in the lost potential of untold stories and unfulfilled careers of storytellers. It's measured in lost audiences, but it's also measured in lost lives.
Social exclusion, according to the research, is processed as physical pain. This erasure is traumatic when we think about the impact of not seeing yourself represented, because it communicates a lack of belonging, a lack of value, and a lack of worth.
People don't just wake up hating Muslims. They believe a story that we have to look at ourselves and ask whether we are complicit in perpetuating.
What we know from the literature is exposure to dehumanized portrayals increases the risk of aggression towards that community.
Another way to think about the erasure of Muslim characters in top grossing films is to think of the number of films that did not even have one character in it. That's about 181 films, or about 90.5% of movies in our sample that did not even feature one Muslim character in their stories. In terms of visibility of Muslim women on screen, 185 films did not even feature one female Muslim character in the story. In other words, you're going to see more Muslim women in this morning session than you would in 185 films in this sample. It's important to address that Muslims exist across these communities, and it is critical that popular content reflects the individual Muslim experience. This includes through faith, sexual orientation, and disability.
I ask myself, if I'm the exception to the rule, what must the rule be? Exceptions don't change the rules. We have to join hands. What rewrites rules isn't exceptions, but it's when the oppressed and the oppressors join hands, open their eyes, and make a solemn commitment to take some concrete steps.
In order to bring these solutions to you, Pillars has spearheaded a lot of work behind the scenes. What resulted from that brainstorming process was the Blueprint for Muslim Inclusion. It's a comprehensive collection of recommendations for film industry leaders on engaging Muslim communities and ensuring Muslims feel seen and empowered to tell our own stories. Something that I'd really like to highlight in particular from the Blueprint is what we're calling the Muslim Visibility Challenge. We developed this challenge alongside the Annenberg Inclusion Initiative's team to be a clear and meaningful, immediate starting point solution for players in the industry to commit to supporting Muslim stories and storytellers. This is the solution that can begin right now, today. By investing in Muslim creators who have deep insight into Muslim communities, companies have the opportunity to encourage the telling of stories from our lens, a Muslim lens, which will increase the number of three-dimensional and fully fleshed out Muslim characters on screen. We are thrilled to be partnering with our friend Riz Ahmed and his production company, Left-Handed Films, to launch a signature program called the Pillars Artist Fellowship, which supports Muslim artists to tell their own stories. The program will provide Muslim artists with the funds, relationship building, and high support, high challenge community needed to reach their greatest creative aspirations. This is a model that trusts and believes in our artists and in our communities.
The Muslim community in the US is incredibly big, it's nuanced, it's diverse, and while Pillars doesn't claim to ever speak for all Muslims, we do hope we can represent the communities we're serving with pride. This team is, I think, indicative of what it could look like when philanthropic institutions come together, when advocacy organizations come together to really hold people accountable.
And it's because of these solutions, it's because of your engagement that this is how we can drive change. And we are optimistic that this is change that everyone here wants to lead. So thank you all so much.